What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. I hope you guys are doing well. We've taken a lot of time recently discussing about how Call of Duty is completely out of touch with their community and how they don't really understand what the core Call of Duty fan base wants. And I think it's showcased extremely well with the launch of Warzone 2. I'm going to be honest here. I think there's a large section of the Call of Duty community that were genuinely excited, hyped for Warzone 2 to come out because they saw what kind of a hit the original Warzone was, and they were excited to see what the next chapter would be in this Warzone world. Unfortunately, it was completely botched. There were a lot of issues in the game at launch, and it's taken them quite some time to repair these changes and realistically make Warzone 2.0 basically just Warzone again. The same launch that we had several years ago, and it kind of feels like all of it was for naught, which is pretty par for the course when you consider what Activision has been doing for such a long time. It seems that anytime they take a step forward, they take 3 steps back. And realistically, that's what we've seen with Warzone. As much as they wanted to try to push the envelope, they've been working tirelessly hard to just claw back their own changes to make the game feel more similar to what the original Warzone was. And what made this point hit home for me was from this tweet from Modern Warzone. Most people seem to think Season 4 looks like a good update. Most people also think it's absolute BS that it's taken 8 months for Warzone to finally get to this point when the majority of the changes they've made post-launch have been reverting the game back to Warzone 1. I again ask, why do they make changes? It's for the sake of making changes. That's Call of Duty's MO. And what they have to start to learn and understand is stop making changes for the sake of changes. If it ain't broke, you don't need to fix it. Unless you are enhancing the experience, there is no need to make significant gameplay changes. Especially for a free-to-play game, it made no sense that you needed to change from Warzone 1 to Warzone 2.0. No sense whatsoever. It should have just been a genuine update for the game. And it's Activision and Infinity Ward and the other developers getting in their own way and actively making their games worse, not making them better. Because if you look at the other battle royales out there right now, Apex Legends, Fortnite, those are the same games they've always been. It's not like there's a Fortnite 2.0 or Apex Legends 2.0. No, it's the same games that were released years ago. So the question has to be asked, why is it that they decided to release a Warzone 2.0? Why is it that they didn't just keep the same game that they had the last few years? Well, the answer won't surprise you. Greed. We've seen this throughout the Modern Warfare 2 life cycle where Infinity Ward is implementing bundles and skins that are very reminiscent of bundles and skins that we saw in Modern Warfare 2019. But if you were a player of Warzone and you bought those skins back in 2019, you'd have no reason to purchase them again. In Warzone, you just keep your same skins. But if there was a brand new Warzone game, well, guess what? You'd have to buy those skins again, making more money for Activision. That's what's happened here. Yes, they've been working tirelessly hard to claw back all their changes for Warzone 2.0, but while they've done that, they've been re-releasing bundles that they had way back in 2019 and 2020. That has been their business model. It's not to make a competent game. It's not to make a game that you're going to fully enjoy. It's a game to force you to spend money if you play it. That's what they want. They want your money. Because in all reality, they could have released DMZ as the big release alongside Modern Warfare 2. They didn't need to release Warzone 2.0. But they needed to cash in on the skins. They needed to cash in on the bundles. That's where they make their money. As much as the game sold really, really well, and we've talked about that, and it's well documented, they've been unable to retain players, and it's because of these greedy decisions that they consistently alienate their audience. It's not like this is a one-time thing. It's not like this is a one-off. No, this is consistently happening throughout all of their titles, time and time and time again. And I'm just sick and tired of it, and everybody should be sick and tired of it. It's not fair to the player base that we have to spend more money just to play the same game that we've had for years. If you're a player who plays Fortnite or Apex Legends, those skins that you purchased years ago are still available to you. It doesn't matter. I could go sign on to Fortnite, a game I haven't played in 3 or 4 years, and the same skins I had then, I have today. But it's not that way in Warzone because Activision is greedier than all of the other gaming companies, and they don't even hide it. But we just seem to mindlessly continue to support it. And we're to blame here. We're at fault here. We fell for it. Because at the end of the day, they knew what was wrong with Warzone 2.0. They could have fixed it months ago. But instead, they slowly made changes, made it seem like things were going to get better slowly. And now we're where we're at, where the game should have been at launch. And frankly, should never even had a launch. Because it should have just been Warzone 2.0. Should have just been the original Warzone all this time. And it's really disappointing and disheartening that this is what the community has to deal with. I've talked about it before. I'm not a big Battle Royale guy. I'm not a big Warzone guy. But I feel for this community because there was a lot of potential here. There was a belief that Warzone could have been the best Battle Royale out there. And unfortunately, Infinity Ward and Activision fumbled the bag, and it's their own hubris that got in their way. It's their own greed that got in their way, and it's been what's been plaguing this franchise for years. If Activision and its developers could put aside their greed, they would actually be able to make better games and make more money. If they just kept Warzone the way it was and made subtle changes, built on it, made a few new maps, implemented all the new guns from Modern Warfare 2 into that game, it would have worked. But because they needed to be greedy, they decided to overhaul everything from Warzone 1 into Warzone 2 and then waste 8 months to revert all the changes back. It's completely disgusting, and it's only so that they can resell you old bundles and old skins. That's why they did it. It wasn't to enhance the Warzone experience, it was to pad their pockets. Because that's the only way they deem that Warzone can be profitable, is if they try to bait and switch their customers. And this has been the tactic that they've used now for the last couple years with everything they've been talking about in marketing to the way that they leak information to the media. It's all about baiting and switching their audience, and this is why people are sick of it. So if you're somebody out there who's enjoying the new updates to Warzone, I'm happy for you. But just imagine for a second if this was the Warzone 2.0 you could have played all along, and it was a situation where all of your old stats, skins, and bundles transferred over, and it just felt like a seamless transition. Unfortunately, we don't live in that reality. All we can do is imagine, pretend. And that's what Call of Duty is now. Dreaming of a better franchise, dreaming of better games, because the reality we live in is just disappointing. That's all I have for today's video. I'd love to know your thoughts down below in the description, or in the comment section, pardon me, about your thoughts revolving around Warzone 2.0 and all of its changes, reverting back to Warzone 1, basically. So that's all the time I have, though. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.